So the previous part of the show, the one that we love so much, and Randy, you've had a chance to play something I know a lot of people are really keen for, Mafia 2.
That's right, Dan. I was actually, I was at GDC, as you know, a few weeks ago, and I managed to get some hands-on time. And I think it's the first time the press has managed to get some hands-on time with this game. And I gotta say, it's looking pretty sweet.
Yeah. So give us a rundown of the story so far.
Okay, so for people who don't know, essentially Mafia 2, big open world game. It's set in America in the 40s and 50s, and essentially you take on the role of a man named Vito Scaletta. You've come back from the war.
Good Anglo name.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good Anglo name. You come back from the war, and you're basically, run into an old maid of yours named Joe, who apparently is a made man. So, in Sopranos parlance, that's you're in with the mafia, and so basically you're just tracking Vito's rise through the ranks in the mafia in the 1940s and 50s. As I said, open world game. So think GTA, but with a lot more
Tommy guns.
Tommy guns.
And slow cars, right?
Much slower cars, yeah. So very period authentic. So you won't have like DeLoreans or anything. Actually, you may have DeLoreans. I'm not quite sure because they can go. Yeah, mine went back to the 50s. Yeah.
And Jordan became a made man.
Oh, okay.
So what exactly did you play in this build? They've been showing it for a while now.
Okay, so essentially you got to play. The actual hands-on was an extended story mission, which takes place, I think, like a few hours into the game. So, Vito's already landed in town. He's got his own apartment, and that apartment basically acts as your hub. So you can go in there and change clothes and, interact and get new missions, that type of thing. So essentially you start today, you get a phone call from Joe, who basically tells you to meet him to help him offload some stolen cigarettes. So obviously this is a video game, so the whole thing isn't just you offload some cigarettes and that's it. Obviously things go haywire, some greasers come up. And
greasers?
Yeah, apparently they're
those dudes.
Apparently they're 50s or 40s gang, and they're just, they're called greasers because they have really greasy hair.
And they try to set the cigarettes on fire?
Yeah, they do set the cigarettes on fire, which is what you're supposed to do with cigarettes, but not all at once. So they set it on fire.
And they have really croaky voices afterwards?
Yeah. But basically, you give chase, and you lose them, and then you have to try and find them again, and it all ends up in this sort of big shootout in this abandoned factory. And it was a good chance basically to get hands-on with, I guess, a few different aspects of the game. So, that's just walking on the street, the actual driving mechanic, and I guess gunplay, combat, that type of thing.
So you actually got hands-on this time. How does it actually feel to control Vito?
Well, it feels obviously very similar to, I guess, other open-world action games out there. So apparently the size of Mafia 2, the world, is about double the size of Mafia 1. So obviously, a lot of people, a lot of cars. You can jack any car you want to by pressing, I guess, Y on your controller again.
Do the police give chase?
The police do give chase, but if you get if you get high enough in the organization, you can actually have the option of just paying off policemen. So you slip them a couple of $100 and you can just basically lose that wanted level altogether. There's a combat mechanic, which is just, like punching and kicking and that type of thing, which is very simple, just mapped to the face buttons. But I guess the most interesting thing here is with gun combat. Like, it really focuses heavily on cover. I know GTA 4 and a few other open world games have done that, but you really need to, I guess, use cover well in Mafia 2. So, like I mentioned, that you end up in that big shootout. You do have a lot of people shooting at you, and you can run into cover and slide in, that type of thing. The animation actually is pretty cool. And you can, stop and pop and, and shoot out and run from cover and that sort of thing.
Is it because you're just very vulnerable to gunfire?
Yeah, it seems to be. Like, obviously you get, you get your health, and that you, once again we'll have to go to, I don't think there are hot dog stands like it is in GTA 4, but you will need to go to, like, stands to,
so it uses
get
like
your health
packs.
It does use health. But yeah, so it just seems like, it's a game that's a lot more suited for, I guess, the cover mechanic. And so, if you're into your third person, sort of like games, it's actually pretty good. And it's gotta say, it's looking really sweet. Like what I saw of it, graphics look quite good, and I guess all the period elements that they put in it were quite good too. Like obviously, just like GTA 4, you get different stations, radio stations on your car, and I'm not a massive 40s and 50s music guy, but the music really seemed to fit.
Sounds authentic.
It sounds authentic, and cars, I've got a pretty good detail for you. they've got hidden Playboys, like authentic, I think 50s era Playboys hidden throughout the world, where you can actually, if you find them, you can actually, look through the actual magazines.
Was Playboy even invented then, though?
I'm pretty sure pornography was invented
Maybe went back
a long
in the
while ago.
DeLorean.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe Marty McFly brought back some 80s stick into the 1950s and left it around the world of Mafia tea.